You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist.
I grew up hearing gunshots in the late night. Ghetto bird, police sirens as a mother cries. Just another victim of the Soundbrown genocide. Locals posted, locked and loaded, ready to take lives. And when they heard the chief lay, they would duck up out of sight. Like your car when the sundown, it was mission time. You had to stay alert, cause bullets always travel blind. We stayed posted, we stayed drinking, and we getting high. Marchando down the enemy's neighborhood as we ride. Put the hood, put the glica sample, fuck their side. No regrets, but the truth is no peace of mind.
G-File.
Another one that you have right here through these back ends of East LA is roughly one of the more smaller ones. Is the Lote Maravilla. No Lote. Now Lote Maravilla is roughly a smaller set. You feel me? Close to already by the freeway, by Eastern. You can find them by Humphrey Avenue and like New York Street, Michigan Avenue. So by those ends is where you'll find the Lote Maravilla. They have a small chunk of territory, but nonetheless, homie, they be representing for theirs. Definitely been holding it down right there already for a cool minute since 60s, 70s. Por ahí, I was told that this neighborhood was established, and they be no slouches, homie. You still catch them up, and they still be doing their thing right there for their barrio, putting their barrio up on the map. Now, here's one of the more active of the Maravilla sets. This one you definitely hear about as well. These guys were also some of the pioneers when we're talking about Maravillas before, you know what I mean? Because you would hear a lot about Juarez, Lopez, Arizona, Mariana, El Hoyo. Those were the names, Ford. Those were the names that you would hear about, And then after you would hearing about like Projects, Rascals, High Times, Gage, and such and such. So Lopez Maravilla is already one of these sets that was already right here pioneering it. Roughly around since the 50s, 40s, por ahí is when I was told that Lopez was established. So they're not like some of the older sets, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, homie, this barrio is definitely with the business, homie, because you definitely hear about them. And you can find Lopez Maravilla located right there by like Humphrey Avenue and like Folsom Street. By those ends, by Blatchard Street and Cardova Street. I think that's the name of that street. So through those back ends is where you can find the Lopez Maravilla. Definitely holding it down for their side. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no chumps, homie. They are with the business, homie. They are the ones, right there representing it. So you see it sometimes. LPZMV. Lopez Maravilla for short. How you see some of the abbreviation. And they definitely be right there representing for their side. Putting their barrio up on the map and still holding it down to this day. They got their members, their riders, and you know what I mean? They still be moving in that fashion. And here's one of the Maravilla sets that you definitely hear about, homie. You have the Arizona Maravilla. Arizona Maravilla is one of the most active of all the Maravilla sets. These guys are large in numbers. You see the activity by these guys. These guys don't play around. You know what I mean? They definitely have their riders. They definitely have their big homies. You feel me? The Arizona Maravilla is a Maravilla set that is one of the ones that's well known over here. Definitely going at it with. If anything, they're probably the most hated out of all the Maravilla sets. Seems like none of the other Maravilla sets are like Arizona. You feel me? There's heavy beef and conflicts right there between them as well. Now, Arizona is located by Arizona and Cesar Chavez is where their neighborhood's at. So everything that's between Arizona and Dangler Avenue is what's considered their neighborhood. You feel me? Almost by the Brooklyn Educational Center is where their neighborhood's at. You feel me? And Arizona Maravilla already has been here since the 40s, 50s, por ahí. Like I said, they may not be like some of the original ones, but it's definitely the one that is active. You hear about, these guys definitely put in their work. Over there by Cesar Chavez in Arizona, they have a high crime rate, homicides, all kinds of shit be cracking over there. You know what I mean? In the midst of the danger zone, because there's so many damn neighborhoods right there. And these guys ain't no chumps, homie. They definitely have riders, homie. And they definitely make sure that they, people hear their name. You know what I mean? These guys even made the news several times, got hit with all kinds of, acts, motion, recalls, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? you know, Arizona's definitely be doing things. You feel me? And to this day, they still hold it down like that, representing for their barrio and definitely putting their clique up on the map. But that's what's up with the Arizona Maravilla right there. Now here you have roughly one of the more newer ones, Hara Maravilla. You have the Gauge Maravilla. Now Gauge Maravilla has been around since the 50s, 60s, por allí. They're located right here on Gauge, obviously, almost close to like Record and all of that on the Cesar Chavez side. You feel me? Close to Maravilla Rifa, hence why you see them always together. You know what I mean? Seems like they have a pretty good close bond. And Gauge Maravilla is definitely with the business. The Gauge boys are not playing, homie. It's one of the clicas that you definitely hear about. They're really active. They're deep. You know what I mean? Even though they may not have a large chunk of territory, other than that, as old school some of these other Maravilla sets, these guys are definitely with the business, homie. They're one of the more active clicks that you hear about, and they'd be doing their thing, homie, and they be holding it down, right? You know what I mean? They got their riders right there. These guys, you know, chumping, no pushovers, and they definitely be putting their barrio up on the map. But that's what's up with the Gauge Maravilla right there. Now here you have the Morella Maravilla, not to be confused with Mariana Maravilla, even though they were a part of them before that broke off. They originally were one neighborhood at one point, but they broke off, you know what I mean, and just decided to do their own things, you know what I mean? So they're separate barrios, because even this barrio has their own individual clicas, you feel me? Now this neighborhood is not that large, you know what I mean? Obviously, because they broke off from the much larger Mariana neighborhood. They share territory right there, you know what I mean? So they roughly are aware of each other. There was beef before, I don't know about now. You know what I mean? But this one is the one that you see up, MYA. You know, that's how you see it up. You feel me? And they've been around already since the 50s, 60s, por allí, I was told. So, you know, they're not as old school as some of the rest of these Maravilla sets, and they're a lot smaller, obviously because they branched off. But nonetheless, homie, they still hold it down. They still represent right there for their barrio. These guys ain't no chumps, ain't no pushovers. Just because they branched off of the Mariana and they're a lot smaller than them, doesn't mean that these guys are pushovers, you feel me? So they still be holding it down for theirs and representing for their barrio, and definitely putting their clique up on the map still, you feel me?